I'm Jing with the Bali Business Review, and today I'm in Ubud to bring you what's happening on the ground from the skies and the streets. In our previous episodes, we looked across Bali to look for the elusive traveler. While stats at the airport indicates that flights are stronger than in previous years, but the view on the ground looks different. Previous weeks, we went to Kuta, Seminyak, Canggu, and Kerobokan to look at a mix of where tourists could be found or not found, and also updates on infrastructure development. In the previous week, we explored the South Kuta area, looking at Pachatu, Jimbaran, Ungasan, and Melasti Beach. Also in Uluwatu, looking for elusive tourists. Join me as we explore the center and east side of Bali while on a quest to find where our traveler is going in 2026. Alright, so I've taken the drone out of the bag, unfolded it, and up it goes into the air. And the strange thing that I've noticed just upon initial flight over this beautiful temple right here on Jalan Suweta is that Jalan Suweta is pretty empty, as you can see. And as we're flying over the Ubud new art market, which has been recently renovated and looks far more modern across from the Ubud Palace, you can see that the streets here in central Ubud, and this is a Monday, noontime, are really empty. This intersection here is probably where there's the most amount of gridlock on a day-to-day basis as people are coming and leaving from Ubud and going either north-south or east-west along all major avenues that... Now we're going to check out a few different points of Ubud, but this is most often what you would call the core of our town part of Ubud. The town side of Ubud is where you would expect to find the town square, the palace, the highest density of food and beverage, and also retail outlets on this part of the city. Now that being said, Ubud does have a few different sections to it. There is a section of Ubud along the Tjampuhan ridge. This is where there's the Hotel Tjampuhan. This is also home to restaurants like Indus and also the fine dining of Mosaic. This is kind of like the intellectual and more quiet side of Ubud, and it's never been very busy over here. Ubud also really benefits from having a spiritual leader. I think this is actually really important. In many parts of Bali, there is confusion between the Balinese and the foreigners over who should take cultural and spiritual leadership for the development and modernization progress. So because of this particular, let's say, cultural guidance from a central high authority, you can see here from an overhead drone shot that there is respect for green zones. Not in every case, but here clearly you can see from this image that the agricultural land is agricultural land, and you can see the clear boundary between agricultural land and the city land. Okay, let's go on the streets and take a look from the ground on what's happening. And so once again, it is Monday in the third week of April right now, and we're just going to go around and see what we can see from the ground. One of the biggest risks that you can take with entering a competitive property market like in Bali is to not know the value of your own property or the value of your region. Ubud Business solves this by giving free valuations to any property owner who is looking to start their journey, a data-driven, AI-enabled valuation that we provide for free. Sign up for yours today on our landing page, and you'll start your pathway to investment success. One of the biggest risks that you can take with entering a competitive property market like in Bali is to not know the value of your own property or the value of your region. Ubud Business solves this by giving free valuations to any property owner who is looking to start their journey, a data-driven, AI-enabled valuation that we provide for free. Sign up for yours today on our landing page, and you'll start your pathway to investment success. Healthy. There are some people here actually, so that's a good sign. Well, let's go on the street and take a look at what the traffic looks like. What is probably the busiest intersection here in Ubud. All right, so that's it. This is, like I said before, the heart and center of Ubud. They have made some decisions on how to guide the traffic with those barricades over here, and it looks like there's some traffic forming up over on that side, and there's a bit of activity also coming down this way. This side is pretty empty. That over there is the new market. It's actually kind of nice that the new market got an upgrade recently. It used to look very old and was hot. Now they have modernized it for better or worse. Okay, strangely enough, it looks pretty empty, I guess, considering. There's a tour bus, JTB, Japanese Tourism, not sure what the B stands for, but it's almost May, so we're definitely going to climb into June, July, August soon. Should be a little bit busier than what we see. One important real observation I've made by looking at different groups coming around here, and this is probably not so obvious to anybody, but I don't see any tour groups. Most people make their own decisions to travel in smaller groups, and I guess, all right, let's go for a spin. So I'm on Jalan Suweta right now, going southbound, and I'm gonna make a turn here at the Palace Junction and the market. So here we go. All right, to the left is the Ubud Palace, and to the right is the new Ubud Market. All right, we're going east on Jalan Raya Ubud, I believe. Yes. Okay, here's a funny observation. This plaza is generally pretty full. It's empty right now. I guess this site is being demolished and being rebuilt. This restaurant seems to be doing a light business for lunch. Oh, yes. By the way, it is lunchtime in Bali right now, so if things are good, we would expect more places to be busy for lunch. We'll keep on going. Okay, most of these retail shops are pretty empty. This pharmacy is okay. We're gonna turn right here. This is the pathway into the city, and all right, here, let's go for it, man.
So my name's Max, I'm from Brisbane, Australia, and I'm a millennial. So I come to Bali about 7 years ago. I've been here many times, but the last time I come here, Kuta was like bustling and whatnot, but this time I come and it wasn't as bustling. Right. But I pretty much organised my first place in Kuta for about 4 days, and then when I got here, I sort of just wanted to see what the vibe was around the area and book as I go, sort of thing. Yeah, okay. and I do, and then if I'm going to book somewhere, I use Booking.com. So I use Reddit, for word of mouth. And then I got a lot of family who have travelled a lot of places, so I go from like my cousins to my aunties to my mates who have travelled across, and just to see what they say. Okay, and then from there, I just make my decision from there. I don't book the whole trip. I'll book like the first little 3 or 4 days and see what the vibe is, and then go from there. Yes, we're traveling as as a couple. Is it your first trip as a couple? Yes, yes it is. Fantastic. Okay. Thank you, my brother. Have a good one, man. Okay. Have a good one.
Towards the Monkey Forest, so we're gonna go for it. Passing a minibus. This minibus looks like it's full, so I presume somebody is leaving Ubud. All right, here's a few rooms that are empty. This is Clear Cafe. Clear Cafe is a big place to, oh wow. Clear Cafe is a great spot. I'm not sure why it's so empty. Okay, let's look back on the street again. Left side of the street is pretty empty. This is Jalan Hanoman. Jalan Hanoman is of course named after Hanuman, which is the hero of the Ramayana epic. He's a god that has the form of a monkey. All right, Jalan Hanoman on retail area. Very little walkers, very few pedestrians. Here's some over here. Overall, very, very empty. Jalan Hanoman is not thriving. Not thriving. Here's the second set of pedestrians I've seen. Wow. Here's some retail apocalypse. Here's another retail apocalypse. Yup, I haven't been to Ubud in a few months, probably 6 to be exact. So I'm a little shocked to see how less busy it seems. Okay, like I said, some construction and renovation. Hindus do believe in a cycle of birth, life, and death. So maybe that's applicable to business as well. Okay, this is one of the major temples. This is the Desa Lan Puse temple. Retailers on the right side are pretty empty. Yeah, this is unusual. Spa, lady making an offering. This is a home. Okay, we're coming up to what is more or less the southern boundary of the city proper, and we're gonna make a turn here to go west. Okay, this is Monkey Forest. So over there continues south. Over here goes towards the Monkey Forest. We're gonna go down the Monkey Forest and complete the circuit around Ubud. Okay, this restaurant is pretty empty. This spa doesn't look too busy. There's a few pedestrians. Now, in years past, this street would be like it would look like an assembly line of tour buses and cars reaching for the Monkey Forest. Today, happy to say that I can pass through this area without too much impedance. Now this is the parking lot for the Monkey Forest. Let's take a quick look at it. Oh wow, it's actually quite nice. There's a lot of bikes parked here. A lot of bikes parked here. And oh my God, this place actually looks quite decent. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I was probably one of the first digital nomads. When I was working at Airbnb, I actually really needed Wi-Fi to work. And this used to be the spot for the first co-working space in Bali. It was called Ubud. It's gone now, but okay. They've improved the entrance here. The security guard who's been working here for 20 years, and he says that this year is
busy in last year.
Last year was more busy.
Yeah, more
so this
busy.
year quiet.
But now it's a little bit low, yeah.
Little bit low.
I do know also maybe the situation or economics in the world.
Right.
That's why the tourism is going a little bit low here.
Okay. This is a good thing. So one of the things I have noticed all throughout Bali is that attempts have been made to reduce traffic by more smart congestion planning. Like for example, the area right in front of the Monkey Forest, they're not allowing for picking up passengers. They have a diversion that goes into the parking lot. And that, of course, is going to stop congestion from forming in front of the Monkey Forest, which is smart. So part of the reason that traffic is reducing is there's just better planning. Northbound on the Monkey Forest Street, Jalan. So this is Jalan Monkey Forest, and this is probably one of the largest concentrations of accommodations, retail, and food and beverage along this street. So let's take a look, and it is dead empty. Yep, it is as empty as it has ever been. Normally this street is like a gigantic parking lot on normal seasons, but okay, here's a French Kiss, here's Pratiwi, and okay, that's a good sign. I mean, here's a beverage delivery. People don't order supplies if they don't make money. Yep, we got people so empty they're just walking right across the street there. Okay, oh my God, this is like retail apocalypse. Yep, retail apocalypse right here. Very, very empty. Okay, ooh, the parking lot here is really full for some reason. So, parking lot full. Now, this area gets a little bit busier. More motorbikes, mocha bikes. Now, there's been a few things that are messing up my proxy indicators. Normally, wherever I look and I see high density of motorbikes, that generally means the area is busy. But I think what's happening is actually there's this direction made to get people to walk more. So I see that there's more areas being centralized for parking. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe Ubud is going to become a walking city in the future. But the sun makes it very uncomfortable. Okay, anyways, if you were wondering if you missed out on anything, there was nothing behind me while I was talking. You could probably already see that. But anyways, this area is generally a really dense traffic jam. But okay, we're back now to the point where we began. So let's go on a different loop now. We're gonna take it west now and explore the Raya Ubud as it goes towards the bridge, the Tjampuhan bridge. But before we do that, but wait, I have a good one. Here's an unexpected interruption. This is Jalan Kajeng, which is a walking street. And this street normally is full of people walking up and down to explore the handicrafts and the shops. It's got these beautiful tiles on the ground. I think that have been donated by folks that have been investing in the health of the street. So I don't know if you can see this from here, but it is, there's like nobody on that street. This is probably a good time to fly up and take a look at this scene from the sky. All right, up we go. All right, so Jalan Kajeng, while it's actually a walking street, can be apparently approached by motorbike. So, wow, tons of retailers, small retailers are just straight up closed. Not even coming to work today. Yeah, it is empty. Like, we came here, I think, last year, and it was pretty busy along the street, but today, no tourists. No tourists at all. It's wow. It is deathly empty. Ah, flowers. Yeah. I pretty much have explored the entire length of the street, and I think I counted about 10 people. 10 people that look like tourists, actually, not including the people who are vendors or our neighbors. Okay, yep, here's some people here. Pretty rare to see people. 10 people walking down the street is not enough to keep all these retailers in business. So the occupancy here is really, really low. Let's continue the journey westward. on Jalan Raya Ubud. Okay, there's a fair bit of traffic coming into the town from here. There's a little sub-region over on this ramp up here. Okay, pretty quiet. Retail, once again, retail's doing really bad. Here's a temple. This is a Pura Dalam. This is the Ubud Green Tunnel. I really don't know what the name of this drive is, but it's really beautiful. As you can see, it goes through a valley and finally some shade. It's nice to get some shade. It's really hot. It's very hot in Ubud at this point. Here's a landmark that might be worth noticing. This is the Iba Hotel. The Iba Hotel is owned by the royal family, and it offers the entry point to the Tjampuhan trail, which we'll probably need to take a look at from the sky. Okay, we're getting pretty close to the bridge. Traditional retail, dead. Some arts and handicrafts, okay. This is the bridge. This is the very important bridge. Let's take a stop here. Oh, this is the old bridge too. This bridge you see in front of you divides the Ubud town side from Ubud town behind me to the Tjampuhan side of Ubud. Now, these two cultures could not be more different. The Ubud town side is energetic, and the Tjampuhan side behind me is quiet. Let's continue up the road up the Tjampuhan side of Ubud now. A little bit empty here. There's the Blanco Museum over on this side. A few motorbikes parked outside. Okay, this is a turn-off point. This goes to Penestanan, which is a beautiful area that is a little bit less inhabited. Now, Hotel Tjampuhan, a major landmark on the Bali architectural movement. A lot of motorbikes again. Here's a bunch of motorbikes that are available for rent. Here's a lot of motorbike parking again on this side. Here's a new Ruko, a new commercial building here. It's mostly empty. And here's the Bingtang supermarket. Okay, let's take a look here. Seems pretty busy. There's, oh my goodness, wow, there is a ton of motorbikes here. It's like some sort of logistics area. I'm pretty sure these motorbikes don't belong to any tourists because they're outside of this warehouse here. But yeah, okay, this is probably where people who are shopping would park. All right, let's leave the supermarket area and continue our drive westward. Okay, Sari Villa is even empty. That one's pretty budget accommodation. Okay, this Ruko is looking really dilapidated here on my right. The festival parade grounds, the festival grounds. Okay, there's Indus here. Indus is actually one of my favorite places. Pretty empty. Ananda Pitamaha Hotel. Okay, pretty empty here. Pretty light. Okay, let's finish the rest of the street at least. This is Bali Botanica. It's been here for a few decades, I think. Yeah, you can see behind me. This area on the left is, yeah, retail apocalypse is the best word to describe it. All pretty empty. NECA Art Museum. I can smell pork ribs. I can smell those pork ribs, so we're probably pretty close to Nadi Nuri's. I think yeah, these are all abandoned, guys. Look, this is abandoned. This hotel looks almost abandoned. Beji Ubud. Yeah, this side of town is suffering more than the other side of town for sure. Not a lot of new businesses, not a lot of walking traffic, and there you can see again there's some newly built place that's coming online for commercial property. My assumption is that commercial properties in Bali are not what they need. I don't know how to describe it. Digital redistribution. It does not matter your physical location. What matters is your online location. All right, we pretty much approached the end of the street. Okay, the next area we're going to take a look at is the Sayan Ridge. The Sayan Ridge overlooks the greenest, probably most picturesque part of Ubud, and we'll explore that a little bit.